Hi, welcome to Travelogue. I'm Mark Edwards and I'm here at Liulichao bus station in Beijing. Now Beijing is one of my favourite cities. There's just so many things to do and places to see, but it can get pretty stiflingly hot at times, like it is today. Now I've heard of a place where emperors and empresses used to go away for the weekend, or even for a bit longer, to get away from the Beijing heat. So we're going to go and check it out. It's a place called Chengde. It takes 4 hours, I've been told, by bus. You can also get there by train, but let's get ready for a little royal getaway.
The imperial town of Chengde is situated in Hebei province, about 250 kilometers northeast of Beijing. Unusually, it's actually quicker to get to Chengde by car or bus than it is by train. If you take the new direct highway, the journey can be made in around 4 hours. As for the bus, you can catch one from either Sehui, Xijimen, Dongzhimen or Liulichao bus stations.
Well, finally made it to Chengde. It's taken us about 4.5 hours. Pretty swift road. And do note that it is significantly colder in Chengde, even though it's just a couple of hours northeast of Beijing. Anyway, I'm going to go and get our royal getaway going. Let's go.
The town of Chengde itself is a rather small place and is mostly focused on the tourism generated by the many attractions in the area. In the second half of the Qing dynasty, in other words, the 18th and 19th centuries, Chengde evolved from a hunting ground to a full-blown summer resort, as well as China's part-time centre of foreign affairs. The Manchu emperors such as Kangxi would come here to escape the same Beijing heat I was trying to get away from. They would be trying to return to their northern roots, primarily by hunting, fishing and watching archery competitions.
Right, so I've arrived at the Bishu Jiangzhuang, which literally means escape the heat mountain resort. Now this is the must-see attraction in Chengde. It is vast. If you've ever been to the Summer Palace in Beijing, it is way bigger than the Summer Palace. So spend at least one day here. It's got 300 years of history. I'm going to go and buy a ticket. I'll be right back. All right, let's go in.
The Bishu Jiangzhuang comprises 4 distinct parts: the palace, lake, plain and mountain area. It's twice as big as the Summer Palace in Beijing. So you can imagine what an impressive sight it would be for domestic and foreign dignitaries arriving here, or even modern-day tourists like myself. Ever wanted to feel like an emperor and stroll around his playground? Well then this place is it.
This is the main hall of the mountain resort. Name is the Frugality and Placidity. It was built in 1711.
Just one quick question. It seems very, very plain, or like one-coloured, considering it's like a royal palace. Why is that?
Yes, very simple, no colours. I think this is because the Emperor Kangxi want to respect the leaders of a minority nationality, because they build a lot of temples splendid around the mountain resort. Another reason, this is the reigning palace, not the main palace in Beijing.
Okay.
So I think that is suitable for the environment of the mountain resort.
And they didn't want to show off too much, you know.
Yes.
Lots of colours.
Yes.
Oh right. Okay.
It's very simple.
Yeah,
I think this is
cool.
the two reasons.
The magnificently simple and yet elegant Hall of Frugality and Placidity is the main building in the mountain resort. It's also known as the Nanmu Hall because it's built of a fine-grained hardwood called Nanmu. When it rains, the Nanmu wood gives off a heady fragrance.
The function of this palace is for the emperor to hold the meetings with other officials.
What do you guys think of this place?
It's old.
They're a little shy. Who's not shy here who wants to tell me what they feel about Chengde?
These were actually children from the German International School in Beijing.
Summer resort.
Good. It's very nice here.
Not too hot. Not too hot.
Yeah. Not too hot.
Better than the Forbidden City?
Yeah.
Really? Why is it better?
Because it's not cooler. When I was younger,
not
always all
boring.
people came and wanted to shoot foot.
The Forbidden City is so boring.
Here there are not so many people.
Not so many people.
And it's not so hot. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the main reasons that they actually built.
It's worth noting that the wings in each courtyard of the main palace house various exhibitions such as porcelain, clothing and weaponry. Since the hall was regularly used as a place to entertain foreign and domestic dignitaries, the majority of the pieces on display would have been gifts to the emperor and empress.
A couple of questions. Donc, pourquoi vous avez choisi Chengde de tous les endroits en Chine?
Pourquoi on a choisi celui-là?
Ça fait partie d'un des endroits, c'est pas le seul. Moi personnellement, je suis les traces des empereurs. Donc je veux savoir tous les endroits où ils sont passés et surtout celui-ci. Parce que celui-ci est plein d'histoires.
Très intéressant. The lady's just explained she's actually come here because she's following a trail around China, following an emperor's trail around China. So obviously this would be one of the most important places, well, certainly one of the places you wouldn't want to miss.
Like the Summer Palace in Beijing, a vast area of the mountain resort is lakes. The lake area lies directly north of the palace area. There are a grand total of 8 islands dotted over the lakes. Keep an eye out for Chung Lake, which is the deepest, and the Ruohe Spring, which is famous for its crystal clear waters. This is the perfect place to come in the summer and mess about on the water. By the way, many of the scenic spots surrounding the lake area were copied from famous landscape gardens in southern China.
Oh, sorry. Well, I've decided to take a quick rest at the Imperial Summer Resort just because A, it's so vast, and B, I've got a lake to my left, wooden cabins around me, and just wildlife hanging around. Now, I've been told by my tour guide that they love to eat bread or biscuit, and I luckily happen to have a few biscuits I haven't quite polished off this morning, so let's feed them up. Right. Oh, they do like biscuits. Cool. Come here.
Thanks to the fantastic surroundings and the wildlife roaming freely through the grounds, you really do feel at one with nature here. You can understand why this would be so popular with royalty. But take away the emperor and empresses, and not a huge amount has changed. The resort is filled with people coming to play games, have a picnic, and generally just enjoy themselves. It's really the perfect place to spend a summer's day enjoying the great outdoors with some friends.
Right, well, you might think that we've arrived in Mongolia at the moment, but we are actually still in the summer resort. This is the place during the Qing dynasty where the emperor would welcome his friends and the people that worked underneath him to eat with him, play, generally just have a really good time. Now, these days, you can come here and do the same, but above all, this is a hotel, so you can come and stay in one of these wonderful yurts for 480 kwai per night, and that's 2 people can stay in there. Right, well, the summer resort is absolutely vast, so to get the best out of it, I'd thoroughly recommend jumping on a bus, one of the many buses that go around. Now, before you start screaming, lazy, lazy so-and-so, it is actually a bus ride that will take over an hour, and it's 11 kilometers long, so it's definitely worth getting on to get the best out of the summer resort. So, 谢谢。
I'd say it's almost essential to take one of these little buses if you really want to get the most out of the summer resort. Some of the best views can be found at quite a considerable distance away from the palace area. The drivers stop at all the scenic spots, and you can take your time wandering about, snapping away with your camera. The resort seems to be designed rather like China itself, with Mongolian grasslands to the east, mountains to the west, and lakes to the south. It's quite surreal to be strolling around on the wall surrounding the resort, which has a bit more than just a hint of the Great Wall about it. Add to this the views. On the one side, you seem to be looking at one of Tibet's must-see sights, the Potala Palace, and on the other, magnificent countryside.
So I've made my way up to the top of the mountain resort, and really there are some fantastic views from here around at this altitude. You can see Chengde town as a whole, or even some of the temples, as you can see, like the one behind me, the small Potala Palace, which I'm going to go and check out tomorrow. And you also have a great view within the mountain resort as a whole, so you can see all of the wildlife and the lakes. But don't just take my word for it, come and check it out for yourself.
Puning Temple is one of the famous 8 outer temples in Chengde city. There were once 12 temples, but today only 8 remain open to visitors. The temples were built as a way of showing respect for ethnic minorities. So you could say that they were built more for diplomatic reasons rather than spiritual ones. Not that this should take anything away from them whatsoever.
So I'm here in the center of the Puning Se, the only active temple in the whole of Chengde. And it's extremely special because it's been designed with 2 different styles of architecture. Behind us, we have the Han architecture, which you see on your way in. And as you move gradually further towards the back, you'll see that the architecture they use is Tibetan. And if you come here during the summer, you'll also find plenty of Buddhist festivals to enjoy. Now, I'm going to go inside towards the music and go and see the tallest wooden statue in the world.
Puning Temple is also known as the Temple of Universal Peace. It was built in 1755 and is supposed to have been modelled on Samye, the earliest Tibetan Buddhist monastery. Since it's the only working temple in Chengde, don't be surprised to find shaven-headed Buddhist monks manning the altars and trinket stalls. These friendly lamas manage the domain and give the temple an air of spirituality. Without a doubt, the highlight of any trip here is the statue of Guan Yin, the Buddhist goddess of mercy. It's the tallest wooden structure in the world and weighs in at 110 tons, which explains why this place is often referred to as the Big Buddha Temple. If you can drag yourself out of your comfy bed in time, I come to the temple at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's then that the monks begin their daily morning class. It's definitely worth coming to have a look if you have any interest in Buddhist culture, or even if you're just curious.
So that's the Puning Temple. Now, like most tourist attractions, you're probably going to want to go and find yourself a souvenir to give to your parents or a friend or a special little someone. Well, here at Puning Temple, they've gone one further and one better than a gift shop. They've got an entire street called the Puning Street where you can buy those gifts, hang out with people dressed in traditional Qing outfits, or even play the many games that are on offer. Let's go and have a look.
Right, so my tour guide just informed me that I can change some Chinese money or some traditional Qing money and spend it further down the street. So let's see what happens here. 这个是多少钱？10块钱一个。10块钱一个，可以用在那边吗？对。这个是？那个是兑换2000块钱。2000块。 Alright, so for 10 kwai, I can get one of these wonderful little coins. For 2,000 kwai, I can get this ridiculously heavy. It feels like a weight. I should just be doing weights with it. 2,000 kwai. I'm not going to spend 2,000 kwai on my friends. That's harsh, but I'm just not. And 你可以给我10个吧。10个。对，这个是真的或者假的吗？真的。真的吗？可以用在那边。对，可以。Okay, 行。100 kwai. Let's go and spend it. Actually, wait. Yeah, look how cool that is. I'm going to go and spend that.
Pudding Street is filled with all sorts of entertainers, young and old, who are all dressed in traditional Qing outfits. Do get ready to part with some of your hard-earned cash though, because you'll either be splashing out on souvenirs or showing your appreciation to the entertainers. That was really good. Wow.
完口完底儿，2手前后交代一下，拿过来，注意一扒拉说走进去，来一个，哎，1个2个3个3个2个1个，拿起来轻轻一扣，扣上它，注意把它交在手里，这里没有，这里3个，非常快，能看明白不？
他会说英语吗？不会，英语不会。Apparently he can speak Chinese but not English. 你必须教他英语。Hello, 你好。Oh, that sounded like go away or something. Oh, something even worse than that. Cool. 你好。
Another of Chengde's must-see sights is the Putuo Zongcheng Temple. Set against a mountainous backdrop, the temple is a spectacular sight.
So I've arrived at the Putuo Zongcheng and I'm on my way up to see this magnificent building behind me. Now, tiny piece of advice, if you don't have time when you come to China to head to Tibet, come here, come to Chengde, because behind me we have the small Potala Palace, as it's known, and that's because it's an exact replica of the Potala Palace in Lhasa, except that it's a bit smaller, of course. And one other interesting thing I've heard is that the small windows behind are in fact designed in that way to keep out the cold, in the same way that it is in Tibet, and also so that the monks don't get distracted by any of the things going on outside. It's a bit harsh, but let's go and check it out.
Built between 1767 and 1771, during the reign of Emperor Qianlong, the temple goes by the nickname the Small Potala Palace. It was built specially for the visiting heads of various Tibetan and Mongolian tribes who came to celebrate the emperor's 60th birthday. It was hoped they would feel at home in more familiar surroundings. The temple represents a fusion of Chinese Han and Tibetan architectural styles. I must admit that I was unaware of the fact that the Chinese and Tibetans were like one family a long time ago. If you really don't have time to head to Tibet, swing by Chengde to get a taste of the Tibetan culture. Try spinning the old brass prayer mani wheels for good luck, but make sure you spin them clockwise.
So I'm on my way to Weichang, and I've been told it takes between 3 and 4 hours to get there. And you can grab one of these tour buses. They go every day. But in case you do want to go off the beaten track, you can hire your own 4x4 Jeep to take you there with a personal driver. I'm going to head out. Important to be polite.
Why go to Mulan Weichang at all? Well, because it used to be the world's largest royal hunting ground. Today, it's been renovated as the Sai-Han-Ba National Forest Park. Lying at an average altitude of 1,400 meters, Mulan Weichang is a vast area of forests, grasslands, and lakes. The area is simply enchanting and well worth strolling around on your own.
哎，你好。
你好，你好。
你好，你好。我问你一下，你从哪里来的吗？
山东。
山东。
啊。
怎么来吗？
来车。
你自己开车吗？
我们一行6个。
是你的一次来潍昌吗？
第二次。
第二次吗？
7月份最好，7月份我们来住了4天，拍了3天的那个晨雾，非常漂亮。
是吗？谢谢。哎 ，not bad. Not. Wow, lovely sun. Oh, actually no. It's okay. Don't be fooled by the sun. I've arrived in Udalco. It's lovely, beautiful day, and it is absolutely freezing though. My hands have just suddenly frozen. As long as there's not too much wind. But yeah, so arrived in Udalco, and this is a place where in the summer people love to come here because you can go on the lake, take a boat ride on the lake, you can come horse riding, there's archery, there's all types of hunting, there's just lots of fun to be had around here. Even in the winter it's very good fun because the views of the mountain scenery is absolutely fantastic. But I do suggest you bring lots and lots of warm clothing because it really does get absolutely freezing. I'm going to go check out the Moon Lake behind me.
Here in Udalco, I feel like a little ant strolling around the vast expanses of nature. Crystal clear lakes, forests and hills as far as the eye can see, and wildlife running free. There are several guest houses and hotels scattered throughout the area. They offer all the amenities you'll need, as well as certain fun items during the weekends and public holidays, such as karaoke, mutton roasts, and lots of dancing and drinking. If you're looking for a weekend outing from Beijing to get a rounded experience where you can immerse yourself in an intriguing variety of cultures and find yourselves humbled by the sheer vastness of nature, then Chengde and its adjoining hunting ground at Mulan Weichang are definitely for you.
Hi. 是你的车吗？
对，我车。
哪个是你的客人吗？
这都是我的客人。
从那边来吗？
我们从四岸坝森林公园过来。
是吗？他们是从哪里的吗？
他们从那个广州。
啊，广州，干嘛？
他们是搞摄影。
如果我跟你去，一天是多少钱租的？
一天是我们是从早到晚，1天350。
The Mulan Weichang Imperial Hunting Ground is absolutely vast. It can be visited at all times of the year, although of course each season brings with it a different appeal. It is at its most popular during the summer, when the flowers are in bloom and a wide variety of activities are on offer. The colours during the autumn are said to be visually spectacular, so the area, I'm told, is taken over by amateur photographers. In winter, when there are fewer tourists due to the temperature, skiing is available.
I just took a bit of time to myself down by the one of the many lakes that you can find in Weichang, and they're literally spattered all over the place. So calm. I just sat there taking in taking in the nature, and it does make you feel a million miles away from Beijing or the hustle and bustle of a major city. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the last half hour and our trip around Chengde, and especially the royal getaway that is this wonderful place. I'm Mark Edwards, and I'll see you very soon on another episode of Travelogue.